Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at etrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4 bike platform rack here on our 2021 Ford Escape. So the Hollywood Rack's Destination 4 is probably one of my favorite bike racks in the entry-level category, meaning you can still carry more bikes without having to spend a lot more money. So we'll talk about the different features of the Destination 4, but we are going to focus on our Ford Escape here today. That way you can see how it works with the car, and then you can make the best fit for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. You do have 3 touch points here. So 2 of them are going to be wheel straps for your front and your rear wheel. The 3rd is going to be your frame mount. And I like how the frame mount is designed because you can move this up, down, left and right, and even around so that you can mount those bikes of different shapes and different sizes. When you want to take your bike off, you actually start over by the wheel straps. So you press a lever on the strap that disengages the strap so that you can lift it out. And I like to just swing it to the side so it's out of the way of our spokes. So do that for both of your straps before you go over to the frame mount. Here we have our frame mount, and it's going to be a little tricky depending on what type of bike you have. You're going to have to figure out the best way to do this. I wrap my elbow around the bike as I take this strap out with my other hand. So once that's released, I can then tilt the bike just a bit forward, not enough where it hits the windshield, but where you can lift it up over that short mast. And now we are ready to go on a bike ride. With the bike off, we get to take a closer look at the rack itself. So notice how this tilts back and forth, and you can actually move this up and down your wings or your cradles for those different wheelbases. And once you have it where it fits around your wheel, you then move this rubber cushion over that wheel. That gives you that extra grip as you tighten that down. So as fun as that wing design is for the cradles, the maximum wheelbase you can carry with this rack is going to be up to 48 inches. And then the maximum tire width is going to be up to 3 inches. So for your extra wide fat bike tires, probably not going to be the best fit for you. As long as it's within 3 inches, you're good. With the bike off, can we now open up the hatch even though the mast is still up? As we can see with our Escape, we have clearance for our hatch. So that means we can reach in, grab our bags, our helmets, our waters without having to lower the mast. The downside is you still have to take the time to take the bikes off, so just keep that in mind since this bike rack does not tilt away. Now when you do want to lower that mast, you start over here by this knob. So you're just going to loosen it just a little bit, just enough where you can move this anchor out of the way, and then tighten that back down. And then you're going to swing the whole mast down. And you have different options here. You can use the frame mount strap or the wheel strap to secure your mast. I just recommend whichever one you pick, just rotate through them every now and then. That way you don't have excessive wear and tear on a single strap. So with the ability to carry around 4 bikes, you also have a good amount of length added to the back of your Ford Escape. Although this is not as long of a bike rack as some of our other 4-bike platform racks. In fact, taking exact measurements, we're going to measure from the bumpers to where those nice white reflectors are, and that sits at 39 inches of length. So that's a measurement to keep in mind when you're backing into your garage, trying to park into a really tight spot. Good thing you do have a smaller SUV here, so you have some room to spare. The next measurement is ground clearance. So I'm going to measure at the end of our bike rack to the ground. That's 18.5 inches. Although at the center of the bike rack to the ground, it's going to be 22.75 inches. But compare those measurements with the shank. And the shank sits 11.25 inches off the ground. So you do have a bit of a shank rise where towards the end of the rack, your bikes sit higher up off the ground. Great for those super steep inclines like those driveways or those hills. Now when you're not planning on going out for a bike ride just yet, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off, you can fold this up into the compact or portable position. So there's going to be this knob here that you're going to loosen and then just let hang once you have that pop out. because you're gonna lift your bike rack at the end, and this is pretty lightweight compared to some of the other 4-bike platform racks. Once that's lifted up, you line that bolt right back up and tighten it back down. And don't forget to put the pin back in for security. And now we have it in the portable and compact position. Let's take some measurements. One is going to be the closest point, and that's from the bike rack to the car. We're going to measure from the bumper to the mast, and that sits at 4, or I'd like to say 3.5 inches of clearance there. So plenty of clearance. Next is the length now added to the back of our car. From the bumper to this hinge, it's exactly 12 inches or 1 foot. So big difference compared to when this is folded down. You'll want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town and you don't want to take up too much space. With it folded up like this, notice how it does not go above our rear windshield wiper. So we still have full visibility out of our rear view mirror. Our taillights are kind of covered here, but definitely visible over to the side. Now, our license plate is going to be covered. We do have this open grid design on the destination. So what's going to happen is your backup camera is right over there. It's there towards the center of your bike rack. You will be able to kind of see through the bike rack, but your view will be mainly blocked. So if you do or are concerned about that, you can ride with this in a down position. It will just take a little bit of time because of that bolt and that clip. So the Destination 4 has a 2-inch shank, while the Destination 2 has an 1.25 inch with an adapter. So if you have this, please make sure you have the 2-inch hitch receiver on your Ford Escape. We have an anti-rattle bolt, and that bolt uses a 3/4 inch tool or wrench or socket to tighten down. We have a lock at the end to secure the bike rack. So with that bolt tightened down, it then tightens the bike rack to the hitch receiver, creating an anti-rattle effect. So as I shake my bike rack back and forth to try to simulate that road movement and vibration, it's a solid fit. The vehicle itself is moving with the bike rack. If you do notice some movement, just double check that bolt you turned when you folded it up and make sure that's secure too. Even though it is an affordable bike rack compared to some of our other platform racks, it's definitely a solid fit with a nice, secure way of keeping your bikes on the rack. You are able to carry around more bikes without having to spend more money and still have the stability of a platform rack. Now, if you need to carry more than 4 bikes, you will have to look into our hanging rack options. One would be the Yakima Ridgeback 5 bike rack. That might be a good option for you. Something a bit more premium, but similar to this, would be the Rocky Mounts monorail. That one has tilt away, and it's easier to use because you have a front wheel mount and can carry those carbon fiber frame bikes. So you do have your different pros, you have your different cons. I still think the Destination 4 is definitely a solid entry-level bike rack, especially with the Ford Escape. And that was a look right here at our Hollywood Racks Destination 4 bike platform rack here on our 2021 Ford Escape.